What's up? What's up? This is your boy, the Clarity Dr. Timothy Moore. This is another episode of The Male Perspective, all things relationship, entrepreneurship, and spirituality. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a very hot topic. We about to get live. We got some gentlemen on the panel who are going to bring the heat. We're going to be talking about objectifying women. How do men see? How do we see women? What's our perspective? What's our perception? We talking about it tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to bring aboard our first panelist. He's an amazing young man in Omaha, Nebraska, running for political office. I'm going to bring him on board. Mr. Michael Young.
Hey, what's going on, Tim? How you doing, man? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, my brother. Tell the audience all or a little bit about yourself.
Man, so let's see. Born and raised in Omaha, out in this community, appointed official for the last 10 years. I did run for Douglas County Commissioner. I appreciate that. Still elected over at Metro Community College Board. And man, I'm a part-time child shepherd with these two boys and my daughter. And you know what? I love turning a wrench. So tonight is Monday. I'm ready to have these good talks today, and I appreciate being a part, Tim. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Welcome to the Male Perspective on Monday. Next, we got a local hip-hop, Wakanda Forever. We got a local hip-hop Christian artist, dope brother from another mother. We got so much in common, but little in common. I'm going to bring him on, Mr. GT Dane. And we can't hear you.
2020, you on mute.
Yeah, my bad.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on? GT Dime Music. I'm happy to be here. Rocking the Good Vibes merch.
Okay. I see you.
Holla at me. But yeah, I'm super excited to be on here to be a part of the conversation. I live here in Omaha, Nebraska, father of 3 amazing young children. I'm a Christian hip hop artist, and just trying to do something positive to encourage people. I don't want to get too deep into it because I know Tim's always telling me I need to make sure that I'm being specific in what I have to offer. But yeah, I really want to, do something positive for people. So my music is one way that I do that. And I also like to just organize and bring people together, do cool stuff.
Cool. Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Welcome, GT Ding. Next up, we have Mr. Jerome Johnson out of Chicago. Come on board, Jerome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Tell the audience about yourself. What you got, man?
All right, for the most part, I'm Jerome Johnson. I am from Chicago, Illinois. No children of my own. However, I am a mentor. I am a leader. I am a high school African-American history teacher on the west side of Chicago. So I pour and mentor and just, be something for the young people that I didn't have when I was growing up. So that's what I do for a living, and I love it.
Excellent, brother. Appreciate you for all you do for the young people. Next, we got a superstar, shoe salesman, shoe owner, shoe empire. Raw words with Levi.
So we're gonna. I'll have to correct you real quick. So my brother.
All right, do it.
That's all right. That's all right. I got you. My brother Eric Jones. He unfortunately is on the road right now. He's the shoe owner. He's the C-list celebrity out in LA. I am Levi Lawrence III, known as a master consultant of business, sex, relationship, and life. I also own a professional fundraising networking organization called Illuvione, which is my baby out of my 8 companies that I own. It is where we give as much as we can to the youth with our business or business development course. Also with our love and gifts through tangible iPads, laptops, things of that nature that we give to the youth through the AGB program. And of course, on the other side, we love to bring all of the adults together from all walks of life, all professions, to our Alluvioni events that we throw annually. So next one will be in LA, June 25th. And after that will be one in Houston, September 18th. Make sure you tap in with your boy, get your tickets, because we love to have fun, get a little tipsy, get some food in this, network, and grow.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on board. Next up, we got super dope Marcus Norman. What up? Gentlemen's Podcast. Introduce yourself, my man. And
how you doing, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
What's up? Talk to us.
How you doing, fellas? My name is Marcus Norman. I am the host of the Gentleman's Style Podcast show. I'm also a real estate investor, serial entrepreneur, and small business owner. I invest in other businesses. I have a lending company, and numerous other ventures. So thank you for having me on the show. I hope to learn a lot and share a lot as much as possible on this podcast, on this show. So thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on. Next up, we got my super little brother right here, Mr. King Caillou.
What's going on, man? How's
up?
everybody doing, brothers?
What's going on, y'all? Good.
Tell us about you. What you do, bro? What's up? Just a ninja. Come on, man. What's up?
I know, right? I know. I ain't seen you guys in a minute. What's up, GT?
What's up, I'm glad to know you're still alive.
Well, it ain't like you ain't got my number, but anyway.
Right.
But I'm a jack of all trades, man, a master of maybe one or two. I am a singer, actor, songwriter. I have a podcast. It's on hold right now. I'm actually looking into starting a management company for Black entertainers to show them how to get into the industry without making some of those wrong moves some of our history makers made in the past by going down the wrong path, and actually having mentors to show them how the business side of the industry works, as well as the art side. So I'll be starting with my nephew and a couple other friends of mine coming next summer. I'm going to be hibernating for the winter because y'all Omaha winter ain't no joke.
Right,
So,
right.
so I got to keep it low and steady for the winter time. So in spring, Phoenix Productions Group, which is the name of my company, which I should have said it first, we'll be coming back online, bringing some independent, self-produced online content, a play, independent movie and a television show. We're shopping right now to online distributors, and music as well. So,
all right, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what's up. King Kyle in the house. And last but not least, my offspring, my keepsake, my number one baby, Joshua Moore. Tell them about yourself, Josh. What's up? And you're muted. And we cannot hear you. What's up?
First off, I'm not a baby.
Oh,
I just moved to Omaha from Mobile, Alabama. Graduated from Spring Hill College, cellular biology major, health sciences, and then I worked in a lab and I was a swim coach. Not looking forward to the Omaha winters, but looking forward to these conversations.
Awesome. Well, fellas, this is the time you've all been waiting on. And if you haven't, I have. Objectifying women. What I want to do as we start this conversation off, and I see smiles, I see smirks, like where this dude about to go. Yeah, you better be careful because you know I'm about to go there. I got Pornhub up with all the statistics.
oh, wow.
We got a couple videos we're gonna watch. No, play.
I was like, that you're using my laptop.
But for real, objectifying women, I believe that, you know, as Black men, we can all at some point identify with this idea, concept, term, what have you. And I just want to kind of set the playing field, the background, give the backdrop for this conversation first by introducing and defining object, since we're talking about objectifying women, right? So what's an object? A person or thing to which a specified action or feeling is directed. A specified action or feeling. Okay. Y'all see that? Objectifying women, objects. Okay. So, next. Object. A material thing that can be seen and touched. Framing that context. Okay, so objectifying women. Is that applied? Does that not apply? Now, as we talk about this conversation, at the end, there is a conclusion that we're going to come up with. I got a question at the end, and we all going to answer very honestly, very directly, very really. And then I also say, for those of you who are married, I ain't trying to make you what's the word? Implicate yourself on anything. So, right, Mike. So, Michael, so however you can answer these questions in terms of how you used to see things, right? Maybe you've evolved. Maybe you are at another place now and how you used to see things, but I'm believing that most of y'all can relate to the questions. All right? Y'all with me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Objectify, to degrade to the status of a mere object, a deeply sexist attitude that objectifies women. So now, definition says degrades to an object. So take it from a woman to merely something that can be seen and touched, something merely that we direct actions and feelings towards, and that's it. Objectifying women. Let's think. Now, objectification is a notion central to feminist theory. It can be roughly defined as the seeing or treating a person, usually a woman, as an object. Woo. In this entry, the focus is primarily on sexual. Does that lay the playing field? Can I get an amen? Can I get a yes, sir? Right. Hey, that's what's up. Now, I went to Pornhub, and hey, I'm just saying, I ain't gonna tell you what I did, but I'm gonna tell you what I did. I looked up the stats, and the stats for the U.S. on porn usage was we blew other countries out the water. And I was going to share my screen, but I'm not going to do it right now just because I don't have it up. But it was crazy how much porn we consume in the U.S. And the number said that the industry is anywhere from $6 billion to $15 billion a year, with $15 billion being more than the NFL. That's how much we consume of porn. That's just on Pornhub. That's just their stats. And what it said was it's difficult to figure out what the real numbers are because it's a private industry and there's so many things that ain't regulated. You got underground porn. You got so much out there. So the question is, do we objectify men? Do we objectify women? And how do we really see our women? Now, it's a lot, y'all. Now, with that much going on in, being pumped into our minds as men and women and children, there's an impact on how we see women. So the question is, how do we really see them? How has that impacted our relationships, our ability to be faithful, our ability to commit to one woman, to see them in a way that is more than an object, right? So let's dig a little bit, and I'm gonna ask some questions, y'all. Y'all ready? I'm gonna start off nice. I'm gonna be real easy, okay? But let's put this out here. If you are in a tight spot, who would you think to call first? A male or a female? And I'm just gonna take turns. We're gonna start with that right there. Who would you call first if you, whether it was financially, whether you was having a meltdown at work, business-wise, you stuck on the side of the road, do you got a partner that you can call, or are you gonna call a female first? Michael, male or female?
Oh, man. Look, I'm gonna be real quick on it. That one would definitely be female. I think right now we all need.
Hold on. Before you do, let me get around everybody, then I'm gonna get y'all to why. I just want to get that consensus. Where we
female.
at?
Female.
George.
Female.
Whoo. Levi.
Female.
Jerome.
Female.
Man. Josh.
Male.
Okay. Kyle.
Of course, I'd be difficult, but it depends.
Negro.
Hey,
male or female is the options.
I'm gonna say.
Look, look here. Here's a rule. If you come across fake on any of y'all, I'm clicking the eject button. You out of here.
Oh Lord, not my first show, Tim. Not my first show.
I'm messing with you, bro. What you?
More than likely, I'm gonna call a female. My mama. I'm gonna keep it real.
Okay.
There you go. Attaboy, brother.
Marcus, where you at? Is Marcus still here? Or did he have to go? I think Marcus might have to leave. Jerome, what you got?
I would definitely say it is situational. It depends on the situation, but believe it or not, women have shown themselves to be more loyal and more dependable. In cases in relationships that I've built, a woman has definitely been dependable. She follow through is definitely different with the female and the male. So that's part of the reason why. Of course, I'm a mama's boy to this day, and I'm grown. So of course, it'll be mom, and then other relationships that I've built. So that's
okay.
why.
Somebody said, I think you should call a female. Interesting, Nikita. Okay. So now, Michael, back to your initial. Why would you call a female before a male?
Man, I mean, Jerome just kind of touched on it, right? Let's go ahead and talk about the male fragility and our egos. We don't need nobody, right? That's a lie. And so for me, I call female one, I trust her to raise my children with her. And then two, the other reason why I call female is whether people want to accept it or not, we're still mammals. We communicate differently, we think differently. But a female are always a nurturer of any type of mammal. And when you are in that time of need, you think about your work colleague when something goes wrong. You think about your cousin. You think about your TT, your aunt, right? And you think about your mother. Those are all safe places in your world. And so when it comes to time of duress, I would love to be able to call my brother. I'd love to be able to call my brothers here online. And if I may, brothers, you can all call me from here on out, and let's change that narrative that we come together and support each other. And it's not about fragility and ego and weakness. We all get flat tires. We all run out of gas. I'm the number one culprit of that. I trust my gas gauge like it is the gospel. But for me, the reason why I call female is it's just for me is that comfort, that zone, that place. And I think that's something that we don't talk about enough, especially when it comes to dating, that we have someone that we respect so much, like a sister or a daughter, right? But we don't talk about how we trust them when it comes to dating. So that's my answer on that. Somebody gets some notification, it sounds like.
Yeah, Josh is his laptop. All right, cool. Let's circle down to Levi. Levi, why would you choose female?
I choose women because they drop the least amount of excuses. You know, men. You know, think about if you want to like think about your life and think about how many times you might have hit one of your boys up to come through, or that you needed them for something, and they always had either it was on their way and they never showed up, or they chose something over you. You know, sometimes they chose a woman over you, or they chose the game or whatever over you. But how many times have you asked a woman to be there for you when you really needed her, and she didn't show up? You know, like about 90 to 100% of the time, if they know that you really need them and it's not for some BS, they pulling up, they picking up, they're doing whatever. And you know, if y'all are friends, if that's your girl or your wife or whatever, or y'all just your cousin or your sister, they pick up because they're like, what's going on? What's wrong? What do you need? You know, and
go ahead, Levi. Yes, sir.
Maybe it is the caretaker mentality that they have, but you know, more than anything, I feel that women overall, because without women, we wouldn't be in this world. That they have more of a let me watch over my people, my men mentality, and I think that just covers women as all, because again, without them, we wouldn't be here. So I feel like that's the queen mentality, if you will. Not just as calling them out of respect, but like legit women view. You know, to me, women are the highest, and I'm pretty sure to most men, and especially in here, you know, women we view them as the highest. So as then, it's like, hey, if you need me, I got you. They don't like to put up with no BS. You know, if you out here fucking around and you know it's not happening. But they got you if you need them, whether it's your mom, your grandma, whatever. They're there for you. So that's my reason why I know for a fact it's 100% women before men, because the trust is there, the belief is there.
Wow, that's good. All right, Jerome, what you got, man? Oh, we know you touched base, but did you want to elaborate anything more on what you said?
No, I mean they hitting everything, and nurturing and nurturing is definitely the reason why it's a female.
Okay, cool. GT.
So I'm gonna go back to what Kyle said. It depends on the situation, because the first thing that comes to mind is if I'm in a tight situation, like the first person I'm gonna call is my partner, the one that you know I'm in this life with. So and that is a female, but I feel like I'm fortunate enough that I have like good men in my life that, I mean, Tim, you're one of them. You know, if I was really in a tight situation, I would call you, or some of the other brothers that I do work with. You know, I feel like I'm fortunate to have like solid relationships with guys that are consistent and that do come through. But I also have, you know, women in my life like that. But for me, outside of my partner, I would call one of my brothers first.
Right. Appreciate it. That's good. Let's go back down to where we at. Marcus, did you answer the question? Who would you call if you were in a tight spot, male or female, and why?
Depends on the tight spot, and I would look to my brothers, my close brothers or friends, and I'd reach out to them. It would probably be a male first. Why? I don't know. I honestly haven't thought about that. I guess it's just naturally ingrained in me to reach out to my male counterparts first. Okay. I don't think it's a negative. I guess I need to dive deep on that. I need to spend some alone time on that one.
Hey, you know, and it kind of sounds like kind of the same thing with GT. You've had some good men around you. You know, they shown consistency, they shown dependability, you know, all those things like that. So your perception and perspective is, okay, I can ask a man to help me and he gonna be there, which a lot of us don't have. Which, you know, I applaud, you know, your pops and, you know, whoever's in your life that, you know, got you straight. Josh.
Yes.
So you said and
male.
All right.
Well, it depends on where I'm at, and it's situational because like y'all were talking about, it's like I'm blessed because I have a lot of strong men in my family, but I also have brothers and women in my family that are also there for me. Like if I'm in Alabama, I'm gonna probably reach out to my sisters or Jasmine or my mom, but I'm up here with my dad. And also in college, me and my friends started this group called the Men of Color Council. And like one of the main things that we had to address was like how fragile as Black men our ego is sometimes. And like we may benefit a lot of times from sexism in society, but a lot of times we feel uncomfortable opening up to like other men. And like I feel like that's where the fragility comes into, because like I feel like as men we need to have like an open space to talk about things that we don't normally talk about, or it's been shied upon in the past. So it just depends. I'm not really picky. It just I have a lot of great people in my life, so it's not really about sex for me.
Sweet. All right, let's and Lamar, I got you. I'm gonna bring you on here shortly. I'm not sure if I see you in the background yet, but click the right link, Lamar, and I'll get you on here. So let's move on to our next question. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna make me a good one right here. Let's see. All right. Oh yeah, here we go. Do you believe it's common that women will imply or blatantly mislead a man to think that he's going to get sex or any kind of sexual action for her own benefit? We're talking about objectifying. And I ask these questions because it isn't just, and I frame this, I mean, I'm pretty sure from experience, being objectified or objectifying men, sometimes women can allow themselves to be objectified and present themselves as objects because that's the culture. So from experience and what any of you have experienced, is that a common thing that women will be like, you know what? I might let you get some of this. You know, if you hook me up with a dinner, you know, we fly to Jamaica. I mean, whatever level that is of offering. I mean, what's our experience, man? What's y'all experience? GT, talk to me.
You would call me first.
Yes,
so
sir.
I got, that's crazy because I got just this interesting situation that happened when I lived in Iowa. I was helping I was actually taking Taekwondo school through I was taking classes through this Taekwondo school, and the daughter of the instructor actually approached me about being friends with benefits. And
really,
like nothing like that ever happened to me in my life. So yeah, absolutely. That's women do that.
So you had a female approach you with an offer for friends with benefits scenario.
Yeah.
Wait. He didn't say he took it or not. I'm waiting for the answer. Did you take the deal or not? That's what I've been waiting on.
Hey, come on, Marcus, come with it. Put him on the spot.
He had me at the edge of my seat, man. I can't let him escape through that.
I want the juice.
We did one time.
Okay.
We still kept in touch.
Thank you.
Yeah, but we did one time.
Marcus.
My bad.
Hey, see, the ladies on here are not even understanding. You're like, this is shock and awe to some of them. But as men, our perception of women, the understanding of how the lens that we look at women through, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. And let me just take a segue and just be transparent. And
I'm
Jordan,
sorry,
we talked about some of this. From the time of probably 4 years old, I was sexualized from my neighbor's daughter, brother, and sister. All we did was play any kind of sex game possible. We played it, and this is at 4 and 5. Then from 4 to 8, or at 8, I was molested by a 16-year-old. Me and his little nephew, we sitting up giving him head, sucking his penis at 8. So we're talking about experiences that we have had as men, one, we don't talk about. Two, when we're looking at objects, if we've started that journey early, all we see is, like the definition of object said, one thing: pleasure. Pleasure. So for you all that are watching, this is real stuff. Objectifying women, objects in the world. I mean, and I'm sure you men got stories that y'all have never told, but y'all probably told them. Y'all probably told your girl, but you ain't never told your boy. And so the issue is a lot of things that we have stuff pent up inside us as men that's creating this energy of objectification. Can I get an amen? Can I get a snap? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a what? This is a safe place, y'all. I've always been transparent. I told my son about this. I told my brother about this situation, and they like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? My brother, it blew his mind. He's 60, 61, I'm 54. To be able to open up and share that without any kind of feeling of, you know, it took a minute. I had to do the work on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I had to do the work on the inside to come to a place, you know what? I own all that I've been through, and I ain't mad about it. And I can't.
You know what, Brother Tim? I appreciate you sharing that with all of us here today. That's strength, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. For real. Appreciate it. So we're going to move. Appreciate it, Michelle. So as we're unraveling the male perception, let's keep asking these questions. Let's just cause ourselves to think. Why would a man wait for the quote unquote right woman to show up in his life before he changes, modifies, improves, or adjusts his life? And is that objectification? Why would a man, why do we wait? I'm gonna do this when I get the right woman. I don't know if you've all ever experienced that. You looking at your own life and you're like, man, you know, I'm like this, but if I get the right woman. And if you have that mindset, why would a man wait? And then is that objectification? Levi, what you think?
All right. So I think it just I think it depends on, you know, on the time, right? So when you're young, depending on how you grew up, depending on the people you grew up around, the saying was, you know, nice guys finish last. So if you were a nice guy, you were sweet, you was the extreme gentleman, the ultimate, you was doing everything that you were taught, right? You were taught to be a gentleman, maybe by your mom, your dad, or whoever, your grandparents, and you were just pretty much destroyed, maybe heartbroken or something like that. So once, usually as a man or a human being, period, once you get your heart broken when you're young, you get your feelings hurt real bad, or you get embarrassed, you shut down. Now, you know that I don't want to do that no more. You know what I mean? Whatever that feeling, I don't want to feel that no more. And I see my guy over there who's a straight asshole, and he getting all the love. And I ain't never seen him get hurt. So you know what? Maybe we need to move some things around. After a while, you might hear something. So something I heard, because that was me. I was a nice guy for the longest time, and then I kept getting my heart broke, kept getting stumped on. One of the guys told me, he was older. He told me, he said, "Nice guys beat their meat. Assholes get their meat beat for them." And it changed my life.
Oh, dude, hold up. That's what I quote that. Say that again.
He said, "Nice guys beat their meat. Assholes get their meat beat for them." And so for me, it made sense. So after I decided to stop being so nice to everybody that I may have been attracted to or interested in, that didn't want me, and I just started being me and stop worrying about, stop caring and doing nice things, and they just start coming flocking. You know, because now that spice of assholeness or whatever, even if you feel somewhat of a gentleman, it's what they, you know, it's what they crave now. Why? Because you ain't all over them, you're not craving them. Most human beings want what they can't have. So if you looking like the top shit on the top of the shelf that's too expensive, and guess what? That's what they want to get to. So I think as men, you know, you got your pride, you got your ego, and you know, we get older, whatever's working for us. So when we moving, especially if our boys is out here, we got the pack with us. We definitely gonna do what we do, and nothing's gonna stop us. And when you meet someone that that you as a person value, then things kind of it takes back, because now you're like, well, wait a minute, you know, I actually respect this woman. You know, like, well, wait a minute, like I really want to know what she thinks. I really care about her opinions. I really, you know, I'm learning from her. She's teaching me things. I'm teaching her things. We're growing together. You know, like, and then you start thinking about your, you know, maybe your mom or your grandmother, whoever you have that, you know, you might want to share them to. You say, hey, I want y'all to meet, you know, this beautiful, amazing person who I truly do value. And from there, you know, those walls start to come down, that onion starts to peel. So that core is showing. So now that core is showing, you're open. So now your mind starts to change. You start to adjust. And I think as you get older, of course, you improve. You learn. I mean, we still, even in the beginning of my marriage, I was still doing dumb single motherfucking stuff. Like I was still doing, you know, stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. Like, dang, I probably don't need to be having, you know, these conversations with the people that I have out in the military in Texas or whatever. And I got checked. She was like, oh, so that's what we're doing? All right. And so I was like, oh, let me check myself. And it's, you know, lessons learned. I think once, you know, through life, getting older with the person that you respect and love and trust and all that great stuff, that, you know, you do have those modifications, you do make those improvements, and you do adjust to the life of representing that your other half.
Man, dude, that was on point. When what came to me was literally you kind of she went from being, or whomever, from being an object to a real person. Like she took on value, she took on worth, she took on, you know, benefit beyond the physical. And until you're able to see that in a woman, she will always be an object in the majority of men's eyes until we have that aha. And I think for a lot of women, there's a lack of understanding that we have to go through a transformation, because we don't start off seeing women like women. Unless you fit the role of mother, sister, grandma, auntie, outside of those roles, and if I see you walking down the street and you got on whatever, hey, you already know it's object time. You know what I'm saying? And we have to make that change, and it's not easy because of where we started from. So, Kyle, what you got? Why would you wait for the right woman to show up in your life before you made life changes? And is that objectification?
Well, my perspective, man, and my experiences says that it's actually just either learned behavior or it's something that someone hasn't. Life is weird. Like he said, there's the yin and yang thing. You want what you can't have. Is a mystery there. I think that's a natural human instinct. But more so, I think a lot of young men are taught this conquest, this competition thing, as opposed to being taught that not only, yes, you're the patriarchal leader of society, or you're down to your relationships and all those different things you have with different women in your life, but also women are taught to go out and find a husband and someone to take care of them, a nurturer of the household, where as men want to be that, but at the same time, they're also taught, like you were talking about Pornhub, to, you know, get you as many off as you can before you settle down. Or even I've been taught by some males in my family, not all, but it's been a few, you know, even when you married, hey, you know, as long as she don't know what's going on, keep doing what you do. So I think a lot of it is taught on both sides, and it's not balanced. I think there's this thing where it depends on your household. I'll just be transparent with my family. My mom, I tell my closest friends this. So you guys now are my closest friends. So I'm telling y'all now. When my mom brought my stepdad to meet my brother and I before they got married and got together, when I first saw him, I told her right after he left, I was like 5 years old. I said, Mom, he ain't right. And, you know, like most black mamas would tell a 5-year-old, go sit your little grown ass down and shut up. And the reason why I did that is because my personality is one where I study spirits, and I could tell that he had something on him that he wasn't prepared for what she wanted. And my mom has that Cinderella Syndrome, is what I call it. And when they got together, I love him to this day. His family are the ones that really pretty much raised us day to day. But even to this day, we just had a conversation earlier, a couple hours before I got on here with y'all, and I was talking about some things he did to her that I was the oldest, so I got to see that disrespect. And it was because he was this good-looking, light-skinned dude from the South. And everybody told him he was good-looking. They also told my mom she was good-looking. But she wanted somebody to help her raise her 2 boys she had before as a teen. And she was looking for the best man out there. But he was looking for all the ass he could get. And my mom was just another pretty woman that was going to be off his checklist. And even his own family would tell him, one day she's going to leave you and not come back, because we were always leaving and coming back. And what I found, I used to look at him until I was a teen and say, hey, man, I love you, but because you did provide us with a home, and my dad didn't want to do that. But I used to be pissed off at him how he would make her cry and make her. I was a kid and I was always too mature, but she would come to me. But then when I got older, I saw that she had to take some accountability. She knew. My mom is a very intelligent woman. She's an emotionally driven woman, but she knew what I knew, that he was not the one that was going to fulfill what she was looking for. So both had issues that they didn't probably get all of the training on how to be in healthy relationships. And while men need to take accountability for the objectivity of women and just life, period, I'm not saying women are responsible for how they're being treated, but we got to all make better choices on both sides of the fence. And that's just the way I see it, man. Like I said, I'm not disrespecting the woman and looking for that, because they are taught that. It's not always fair for them. But a lot of women now are just getting fed up. And so they're acting out or speaking out saying, hey, I'm tired of this. But at the same time, like I said, I was 5 and I told her, Mom, I don't know. So she got to see it for herself. You know, I just sat back and was a kid and growing up with her, but he definitely objectified her and looked at her as a possession as opposed to his wife.
Right.
So they had to learn. They both had to learn.
Right. Facts. And it definitely is. With it being something that is presented and projected onto society, as we look at the numbers, I think the fact that porn is $1 billion industry already tells you how we look at, even men look at women, that we're objects in everybody's eyes, whether the brother is an object of success. Like he got cars, like he a bad boy, he light skinned, you know what I'm saying? Got the 6-pack, whatever the case may be. Even to women, sometimes we can appear like objects, and it kind of goes back and forth. We objectify each other. I have found an object that's going to give me stability in my life. So, you know, we definitely have to understand. And I think even that comes from, as Blacks, and this goes way back, originally we were put out on display as slaves for auction. So you got this Black man, he up on the auction block. All of a sudden now, even to the women, he's now a piece of meat. He's something to provide and not someone with feelings. Hence, we can't be sensitive as men a lot of times because we ain't supposed to. We just objects to take care of them, etc., and vice versa. The women end up being objectified. So as we cross this divide, we're going to see that there's a lot of crossover in objectification just in our society as well. Marcus, what you got, brother?
I think men wait for the right woman to show up in their life before changing or modifying, improving, or adjusting lives. Yes. Do I think that's objectification? No. Look at this panel, for example. You have a bunch of diverse, multicultural men. You have rappers, you have podcasters, you have moguls, you have idols, you have businessmen, you have rappers. And I think when men meet the right women, you have to you have to learn how to blend those two people together, because they were initially on two different paths. And so blending two different lives together is not an easy transition. And so when you take two different people from two different walks of life, from two different cultures, from two different brands, and you try and bring those together, it's going to take time to bring those two together, to modify, to change, to improve, so those two people can now move as one. So do I think that's objectification? No, I do not think that's objectification. I think that is two different people coming together and finding a common goal and finding a common path to work together to achieve the ultimate goal, which you'll find out through courtship.
I like that. I like that. So it's not so much then the person you meet is the object that you're waiting to change you, but it's the person that matches your energy, vibration, and vision.
Absolutely, because these gentlemen just stated in their examples, they just stated when they meet the right woman, they have to now find a way to bring that into perspective and to come together and to grow together. The gentleman above me right here just expressed that he saw that his mom didn't connect with this gentleman didn't connect with his mom. They didn't blend together. He saw that early on at the age of 5, I believe he mentioned. At the age of 5, he saw that this man was not on the same path with his mom. And I think that is something that men and women both actually work towards when they're courting and dating. They work to find the balance, and they work very hard. It's very hard for a real estate icon to get together with a rapper, right? And we see that in just modern day streaming, right? Beyonce and Jay-Z, Dr. Dre and now his estranged wife, LL Cool J and his wife, Amazon CEO and his wife. These are people on two different paths that are trying to figure out how to bring themselves together. The life of a music artist, he's going to be on the road, he's traveling, he's mobile. And if you have a wife that's stationary, that takes time to adjust. And so with any walk of life, when two people are coming together, it takes time to blend those two things together. And that is not because we're objectifying our women, is because we are trying to find some commonalities, and we're trying to find common ground, so that, hey, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. I respect you, but I also respect me, and I respect where I'm going. And sometimes we have to be bold enough to say, listen, we are not on the same path. Baby, I love you. And I've had to do this in my own past relationships. I've had to say that. Girl, I love you. But I'm not willing to give up on this dream. I'm not willing to give up on this vision because you want me stationary or you want me home all the time. I can't do that right now. I'm building, I'm growing. And so that is a hard conversation to have, but it's necessary and it needs to be had. And I think a lot more men are doing that, which is leading to the frustration. And what this question poses is that objectifying me? It's not. I just won't give up on my dreams. Not yet. I'm too close, right? Wow. There are young men in this stream right here who are gunning after some very big things in life. And sometimes people will try and throw you off that trajectory. And we have to be man enough and lead not only our homes, but ourselves. And we have to say, babe, we are not going the same place. I'm this close to getting a record deal, or I'm this close to closing on that multi-million-dollar property, or I'm this close to taking my tech company startup to the next level, my nonprofit to the next level to get these government contracts. And so that's not objectification. It may hurt and it's difficult to hear, but it's going to hurt even more because you're going to have doubts later on, and you're going to have regrets later on, and you're going to be kicking yourself like, man, what if I just dropped that one album? What if I just taken it a step further? We don't want to live life with regrets. We want to live full, fulfilling lives. And that's what a lot of men and women are doing. And it seems like objectification, but it's not.
Wow. That's good, brother. That's good. We got one more young gentleman from Reed, England, who's going to join the conversation. Mr. Lamar Mills, come on through.
How's it going?
Say what's up.
I'm good, brother. Hey. How you guys doing? From
doing
Leeds,
good.
England. Leeds.
Leeds, man. I'm gonna change where you from. I'm gonna change your name. I'm gonna change your skin color. Get used to it.
How you guys doing? You okay?
Doing well, brother. How are you?
God bless.
Man, bless.
All right,
Bless.
so I'm gonna let Lamar jump. We're gonna shift questions if y'all don't mind, and I'm gonna give him a hard one, since he's just coming on board. All right, here we go. You ready, Lamar?
Ready.
When you used to be scrolling social media, TikTok, IG, Facebook, Twitter, OnlyFans, Pornhub, XX video, etc., and you see gyrating, twerking, grinding, cleavage, cheeks out, nipples poking through, camel toe. What? Y'all laughing, but I'm so serious. Listen, do you see intellect, business partner, wife, fixer-upper, or all of the above? What do you see when you see this? Because we all see it. Now, I don't know why you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
We see it coming through. I'm asking, what do you see? Talk to me, brother.
Okay. So first of all, I have my queen. So when those things come through the timeline, it's
Okay, let me stop
noise.
you. So let me speak also, and I didn't say before, as clarification, I don't want to imply or insinuate anyone, even if you've grown past it.
Mhm.
Back in the day, what would have been, as you know?
Okay.
Timmy out here trying to start divorces. What
No,
you doing, brother?
and for real, because we grow. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that he's grown is amazing. So that's why I'm like, let's be honest with the conversation. Where were
Cool.
you and where are you now? Let's talk about it.
Cool. So before coming up in the music business, before I switched my career path, being in that type of business, you know, those things are presented quite a lot. And with social media, how it is today, you know, just how the climate of the world is, I guess, those things were readily available and readily presented to you. So before, in the position that I was at as a younger person, I guess, you would be more susceptible to those things. You'd be more like clued into it and locked in and like, ooh, that looks cool. But as you get older and you grow as an individual, as a man, you start to realize that those things are not the things that you're looking for, right? When you're young and wild and you're out here on the streets or whatever, those are the things that you're like, well, that looks cool. I like that. And you go from one to the other. And that sometimes is the reason why you may switch from relationship to relationship. But I found that as I'm 33 now. So the perspective that I have, again, like I said, I got my queen, but that took me a minute to get into that mind frame to be like, this is what I want. And even before we got together, we've been together a year now, you know, going strong. And before I got with her, I was like, look, I want to do things differently. So whatever I was doing in the past, whatever you was doing in the past, I'm doing it differently. And I want us to do it differently. So I guess the switch from then to now, it's like completely different. Those times you'd be loose and wild, and you know, you can get drawn into the DMs. I'm not gonna lie, you can get hooked in the DMs, right? You can get that bait that comes out. I've seen it today, you know, even when I'm, you know, saying my message or whatever, and you know, some females will DM and then respond to like a story and then try and lead you in. But as I'm more wiser now, it's like I know those, I can detect it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not gonna respond even in a certain way to mislead that female to think, oh yeah, he's available, because I'm not available. That's why I'm not going into any long dialogue with you in the DM. I'll be polite and give you some Jay-Z hands, or you know, like the black fist, right? But I'm not gonna start elaborating into conversation and be like, yeah, I think that's cool what you said, and you know, just giving them a false impression. That's where you can get into trouble too. So yeah, now you know we do things my style, and it's not like as when I was 21, let's say.
Okay, Josh, I'm gonna bring this. Let's bring it down to the millennial age. So because their perspective is different, he laughing. And just let me put this on here. Remember, we're talking about objectification, and I think a lot of times, you know, females and women in these industries or who present themselves like that, there's a lot of pushback or comments like, why you look at me like that, or why you see me this way. And so they're not understanding even that we can't see past this, what's being presented. It's difficult. Like how you know what I'm saying? And so we need to, all right, when we see this, Josh, what do you see when you see this?
See, I'm 25, I'm single, and I got a lot of friends. And I know a couple of homegirls who actually have OnlyFans, and they making their money, buying houses, paying for their apartment. But I'm just like, we can be friends, maybe have some relations every now and then, but I'm not dating you. Like, I'm not, it's like you can't sell your body. You're turning yourself into an object. You're exchanging what should be sacred with someone else. And the way I was raised, I'm not knocking what you do, but the way I was raised, I can't do that. We can be friends, but it's not going to go any further. And like today, like I had a conversation with this person that I'm seeing, and she was mad at me because she was like, so Josh, how many times do you just look at girls on Instagram in one day? And I was like, yo, my finger just slipped or whatever. So it's like the fact that I do it without even acknowledging their humanity sounds bad, but it's just like you want the attention. Like you're putting yourself out there and you know what it does. And it's like you can claim it's liberal or feminism and all that. It's your body and you want control of it. It's like, okay, you can control it. But if it costs $5.99, it's not the wifey type of material for me. It's like I can get a burger or something and take someone else out.
OnlyFans cost $5.99.
It depends. Like some girls, they start off at 10, maybe raise up to 20, get specials. It's the thing.
You talking about OnlyFans?
Yeah, and then like even when y'all talking about the DMs, that's called dating nowadays. Like that's how instead of just going down the street and like sexually harassing, like, hey girl, you look fine. You just like, hey, how you doing? Winky eyes, whatever. It's dating.
That's dating.
It's like they're advertising their goods. It's like, oh, I just graduated. Oh, look at me. I just started working out. It's like, I know what you're doing. Those leggings are way too tight and you didn't have to bend over like that.
Wow.
and then it's like they try to play innocent and coy, like we don't know or see what they're doing. It's like you want attention. Someone who didn't want attention wouldn't do that. And then you're like, oh, you're so thirsty, all these guys in my DMs. It's like, stop advertising. I thought this was a business transaction. I take you to lunch and you take me somewhere else. So is it a business transaction or is it an actual relationship that you want? Because how you present yourself determines how I come at you.
Wow. Okay. Anybody? Comments? That was good. What you got? Marcus? Michael? What you got?
Yeah, I got a few things on that. First of all, young man and dad, I'm gonna pray for both of y'all. I don't know what kind of tree you got, Tim, but that apple didn't fall far from the tree. Hey, and there ain't nothing wrong with it either. You know what, young man keeping it 100, and that's what we need. So when it comes to objectifying, I think that's the biggest failure on both sides of the fence. Being the objectee and the objector, I don't think people are keeping it real. If people were honest with what they're looking for, what their trips and triggers are, in addition to what they're really looking for, I think we'd have different results. You know, earlier on in the show, I talked about us just being mammals and what we really want. Reality is there's certain things that we need in our body, in our DNA code that we want. Safety, protection, food, security, right? The issue is that we have this beautiful mind up here that tells us that we want to do it for different reasons, that tells us that we should do it for different reasons. And I agree with that. The difference is then you got the fair and the male perspective species, no matter how anybody identifies. But today we're talking about objectifying a partner. We're talking about objectifying women. I think the reality is, if a woman really said, here's what I want, here's what I'm looking for, and it's hard enough to do, right? This is coming from a divorced dad, right? Because Tim, you asked a question earlier ago. What is your mentality like from objectifying or attracting women? I would say that's had three different passions. There was what I needed to do as being a young man who fell in love early. There was the divorced man and what does dating now look like? And then there's the I'm gonna always be a dad in a blended scenario. What does dating look like now? So am I always looking for the right woman to do the right things? The answer to all of that is yes, and none of it's wrong. And so for me, man, when you talk about the OnlyFans from $10 to $20 to $5.99, I think the reality is that, are you trying to be applicable as a partner? Are you trying to sell yourself and get that other person, as opposed to waiting and truly making sure who you are? And I'm gonna give an analogy real quick like this. I come from a family of the book. We've got about 6-7 generations of Baptist pastors on my father's side. I am not that man. I will never be that man. I might have the gift of gab. I can talk. I got no problem with that. But y'all pray for me, because I'll tell you right now, that just never was for me. But with that, what I mean is I still have a strong faith, but it's not Christian based. And I'm a Taoist. I pray every day. I meditate before I get out of the bed, and I think about the things of how I can be a better man. And the reason being is I'm not going to be a good man for any of you brothers, let alone my children, let alone my community, unless I'm a good man for myself. So if I don't hold myself in regard, it's a damn sham. So to that $5.99 comment, yeah, that is dating these days. And I've gone on Tinder. I've dated a girl from Tinder. I even tried Bumble, but you know, I didn't have enough patience to wait to see when she's gonna hit me up.
Okay, so to that point, then, is that objectifying when you use a dating app, dating site? I mean, they present themselves. Are they objects, or are you actually looking at them as business partner? You know, what are you seeing when you go on there?
So that's really interesting. So swipe left, swipe right. This is I'm gonna keep it real 100 right now. If we're talking about $5.99 and OnlyFans and Pornhub, I love Tinder, okay? Because Tinder is when I am all by myself and I'm feeling drinks and I got to work a lot. Tim, you know I travel a lot, brother. I can sit at a bar and I'm like, nope, yes. I feel like God. I'm in charge, and it ain't got nothing to do with what I think about you. I don't know the sound of your voice. You might even have the worst perfume in the world, but I love social media. And you know what? We're still mammals. Like I said, we're still living organisms on this planet. And the first thing when it comes to social media, when it comes to online dating, it ain't got nothing to do with that profile. It ain't got nothing to do with how much you filled it out. Am I attracted to you or am I not? And I think objectification may not always be the right way. I think it was maybe Brother Levi who said that earlier. It's not always that I'm objectifying. It's just whether or not I find myself attracted to you. Can I identify with you? Now, might I find one more attractive than the other? I don't know. That's probably true. And I think we've all been there. But for me, real quick, to close it, I think we need to be honest that, yeah, attraction is the number one rule. And the unfortunate part is that we live in a community, we live in a world where sex sells, wet ass pussy sells, which I'm not hating because I love Too Short, and Too Short's been doing some shit for decades, right? I'm not mad on Bacardi or Cardi B, excuse me. I love Bacardi.
Told on yourself.
Right? I'm not hating on it because that's exactly what it is. And in a society where sex sells, in a society where the Kardashians get all their likes, they get their own shows, they get their own new record albums and all these things that they do, I don't understand how people get upset. It's okay if I'm going to go make $1 million, but it's not okay if I don't treat you like that at the date. Well, how do you identify? Where are you really at? And for me, I think it's come time to where we need to circle back around and say, what are we really trying to do as people, not just dating?
Okay. So kind of going back then, are you saying then, like, you know, I know funny, he's like, the apple don't fall far from the tree, yada, 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 which is funny. I love it. But is that, you didn't answer though.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What's your question, brother?
Round all about, while you on Tinder searching.
There is nothing wrong with Tinder at all.
Is that objectifying or not? Like when you see those above, whether it's on Tinder too, Facebook, are you seeing, oh, there go wifey?
You know, I think for me, when I talk about the 3 different versions, I think there's been a time where I was swiping for that physical connection, that fun. For me now, my mentality is definitely more grown, where I look at, what does my partner look like? What do you look like in my world? But I'll tell you, first and foremost, that power of feeling like God, swipe right, swipe left, it is. Am I attracted to you or am I not? And I think probably by definition, that could be, unfortunately, and I think everyone does this, men, women, and however you identify. Yes. Damn it. Yes. Yes.
Look, why you being political and diplomatic? Just
political, bruh.
All right. What you got, Kyle? What you see?
Well, I think it's what either party sees. Like sometimes I am, and like he said, you're in a mode where if you're looking for a one, you know, definition for it, a broad definition, just to sweep the whole topic of objectivity, there are times when there's the opportunity to just do that if you're a gentleman and you want to just date or court with sexual relations involved or not, or you just spending time, if you're like you said, you're traveling, you might just want to have dinner with somebody because you're not, so you won't be alone. You might not even think about it. Most of us men, we're thinking about getting back to the room. I'm gonna keep it real, but at the end of the day, I don't think, like he said, when you're acting in what's human, because we feel like we're the most intelligent species on Earth. I think we feel like we gotta act like almost robotic. This is what I want, Will Robinson, and this is what I'm going to do to get it. That's not human. Human is you're looking at the opportunity that you're presented with and you're acting upon it. I think what he was saying as well, like if you're not being honest with a person, like if somebody's on Tinder and their profile says, I'm looking for a husband, quote unquote, in so many words. And then if he's looking for that dinner date or some hookup, piece of ass, if he does that, he objectified that situation to say, well, I'm gonna tell her what she want to hear so I can get this ass because she's pretty. And she may even meet him and play that game. But if people start being honest with each other and you honest with yourself first, you know, I've been single for 14 years. Like the other gentleman said, I've been looking to get my career popped off. When I said I was going to Atlanta and go back to school to become an entertainer and change my whole family lineage of being nobodies to hopefully being somebody through me, I had to be focused because unfortunately, I'm more like my mama than I am like my dad. I'm a relationship-oriented person, and it was becoming a distraction because I was meeting women. I wanted to be like my granddad and marry my grandma, and we started 2 businesses. But the women I kept meeting, it was these mixed messages. One wanted to be self-sufficient, and one wanted to be in a relationship, but she was crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? I just kept getting all these distractions. I was just like, why y'all can't be like grandma? And that's not reality as well. So for me, when I turned 25, 26, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna go get mine when I want mine, and I'm not gonna lie to a woman. I'm not that tight, you know. I have lied. I ain't gonna lie, but at the same time, it's like, you know, for the most part, most part, I'm not coming to you saying we're gonna get engaged in 6 months, married in 2 years. I'm not going to do that because I'm on a track to get me somewhere. Now, while I'm on that track, whether you're a piece or whether you are somebody that I started a relationship with and we evolve into that, fine. But I kept trying to not force the issue, but I kept making myself available. I kept looking for women who were available, and we just weren't meshing. And it's also because from where I come from, which is primarily from the South, and then the South and West side of Chicago as well. So I'm a country hood dude. I was looking for all the right things in the wrong places. And I didn't have a lot of male mentors who taught me how to not only be that husband that I was trying to be, like granddad. Nobody taught me how to go find grandma or my mom. So I had to do a lot of the work on my own, because a lot of men in my family were like, just go get you some ass till you find your wife. And I already knew that wasn't something that made sense, but I did at least try to what I thought was doing right. So after I found I need to get me together first, I've been happy being single. I never thought that's what I would be. I have dated seriously, but I'm not forcing something. And I don't look at when I find a woman attractive or beautiful, I like to go to the quick trip and hold the door for a lady, especially if she's fine. I just want to get that little thrill of she's appreciating me. That doesn't mean I might want to have sex with her in the back of my mind, like how the booty do. But at the same time, I'm thinking about, I just really want that attention for the moment. And I'm honest with myself to say, I'm not trying to marry this woman. I'm not even trying to have sex with her, but I like that little bit of attention. Like women like that attention. Some women are on OnlyFans because some of these women have not had somebody teach them either how to be an actual sexual being who can offer their sex to someone who has built up trust with them to deserve their sex. So they're doing what they see people talking about on TV, like you said, on Pornhub, these women who have fake bodies and whatnot, fake hair. And it's like they're getting attention. They're getting these fine men that are having sex with them. So I'm going to present something as close to that as possible. And so, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not going to, I know I ain't gonna say I wouldn't have a Saturday night with that type of woman, but I know for me, I'm not going to be trying to say, well, I'm going to marry no Kardashian. That's just, no, hell no. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be honest with yourself, and then you be honest with your other person.
So let me ask you this though, because when we as men see these things coming across our timeline, and we have to make a decision about what that represents to us. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Josh, you know, a lot of times we'll have these individuals presenting themselves, but then expect, well, why you ain't dating me? You know, why you ain't treating me like, you know, take me out to dinner and open the door and do all these different things. What is it in our own mind that would say, if you are doing these things, then I'm not doing that for you? Are they objects at that point? What do you see, Kyle, when, you know, there are these choices?
I think what's happening, man, is that we're in
A, B, C, D, or E. Which one?
I think we're in a flux of evolution. I think this whole dating thing is new. You have to understand, like I said earlier. What'd you say?
I'm about to pick a letter.
You gotta pick, bro. Come on, bro. Just say it. He got on me. You gotta answer.
What?
Look, what? Repeat your damn letters. What does A, B, and C mean? Like, I don't know what the hell you mean.
When you see this coming across your timeline,
yeah.
Okay, what do you see? Intellect, business partner, wife, a fixer-upper, or all of the above?
I mean, you think about all these women, Tim. It
A, B, C, D, or E.
It could be either one. There's no way to say just one. You know that. I mean, let me say it like this.
Look, man, you're lying.
Women objectify us too.
I'm being 100 with you. Let me tell you why. Because if I see somebody who I know, like I'm not on a lot of dating sites right now. Like I said, I'm chilling, I'm doing me, and I'm just hooking up with who I've been hooking up with. But if I'm on my social media, hey, I'm looking for some WAP too, like old boy said. But anyway, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. But no, but no, on the real, if I'm on Facebook like I am mostly more than any of my other social media, I have women that I flirt with. Hey, man, you looking good. You queen, you looking good. I'm flirting. I'm not even in the same city with these ladies. So at the end of the day, I might see one that's just somebody that's so pretty. She always taking pictures. She ain't doing nothing nasty. She ain't twerking. She ain't got camel toe on blast. So I'm looking at her as a pretty young lady that I want to flirt with. But there's the other one I'd be like, there's a couple. I'm like, man, she doing her thing. She
Natasha answered the question. She said you sidestepping.
All right. I tell you what, I'm looking for a wife, but if I see some WAP, I'm gonna grab it up. How about that?
Dive in.
Yeah, I'm a man. I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like I'm being perfect, and I'm not gonna tell you that I'm always looking for the same thing. No man. The most dirtiest, dingiest dude is not just looking for some ass all day, every day. Somebody want attention. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it depends on the woman too. I can't objectify a woman. I'm not gonna say I don't, but I'm not also going to say every woman I talk to online is going to be some woman I'm looking at as a piece of ass. That's just not my personality. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So I wouldn't do that.
Now that right there is good. Not every woman you look at is going to be a piece of behind to you. So there's not all women. Some women are objects to us, whereas in some are and some aren't. So it's kind of a play-by-play.
That's what I was trying to say.
So
it depends.
Okay, but if you saw one of those, would they be wifey?
If I did see somebody who was showing everything, yeah. I'm at that age, I'm at that mindset where I'm open to wifey. And but like I said, if I said again, if she's out there doing thoughtish shit, excuse me, I don't know if we could cuss or not. If she's doing thoughtish things, then no, I ain't trying to let you meet my hoish homeboy, let alone my mama. So no, you gotta, and that's just based on how she would carry herself and what she presents. Would that mean I don't meet her and we hook up? No, not necessarily. We may will. But at the end of the day, I know for me, the way I was raised and what I saw, the good, the bad, and indifferent with my parents and other family members and friends and their relationships, the woman has to present certain things herself, and I mentally need to be and emotionally in a place where we meet, like the gentleman said earlier when he was talking about me. You have to be in a medium where we can meld our personalities and spirits together. But if you present me with something and I'm only seeing ass and, like you said, camel toe, and you popping and twerking and drinking and bopping all day and night, I'm not looking at you as wifey. No, absolutely not. That doesn't mean I think she's wrong in what she's doing. You do whatever you want, but that's not going to be somebody that would be first initially thinking she going to be my wife. That's come on. No.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. That's exactly what I was getting at. Because
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. And then GP.
So here's the real question I got. We all been single. We all dated. I ain't gonna name names, but it's a friend of mine. And he was single at the time where I was married. I married really early. I married the woman I met in junior high. And one of the first things that blew my mind, I want to hear what these other brothers got to say about this. He said, that girl gave it up on the first day. That was fun. She's not wifey material. The old boy's point right below me. That's interesting. So I think, was it Mariella? She had come in and talked about a woman can play whatever letter she wants to play. But the reality is, are we being played? Because I really think women always know. Real talk.
Well, what did I say? What did I say earlier about my mom, though, real quick, is that although my mom told me later on, she knew I was right. We laughed about it this summer. She said, that's the problem. I told you to go sit down because you weren't supposed to know those things at 5 years old. But she did tell me she was looking for a partner to help her raise me and my brother too. She wasn't just only looking at him as this good looking guy with a couple dollars in his pocket. She liked that part, but he was an object to her because she had made these 2 kids and didn't stay with our father. And so now she was looking for an opportunity to have somebody positive. She didn't want us to be out in the street. She didn't want us to be doing you know, random crazy stuff. We were back and forth between Chicago and the country and Mississippi. So she looked for somebody specifically that she could be attracted to, of course, and all that stuff. But she also wanted someone there for us. It wasn't a bad thing, but to be honest, that just didn't mesh, because his thing was, you just a pretty woman to me, and she was looking at him, well, you're a pretty man, but I want you to help me raise these boys and help me live this middle class suburban life.
Well, I appreciate that, brother, but like my point still is though, like you talked about you just a man, right? Which, and I ain't hating on you, brother, at all. I'm just asking questions.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
Because you're looking for wifey and you get old girls hotting around and shit, as you said, which happens, right? That's life. But the reality, what I'm really asking is, if a woman, let's say you go out and that's not what you're looking for, but she gives it up, and you also allow it. So because I always think it's interesting when people talk about a woman gave it up.
I get what you're saying.
You did too. Why is she discredited for giving you what you ultimately gave into? Because you did it too. Why is she less, and now she has a less perspective and reception than us, because we did the same thing that night? I'm not saying you did it.
What I was answering,
what you think about it.
What I was answering is in reference to what Tim was asking me to answer, what I'd be looking for in the letters. And my thing was, he said, when I go online and I see someone that's always presenting a sexualized thought type image, what would I look at them as being wifey? I'm saying in my mind immediately, just on sight, looking at that image, those images and that projection of herself, I'm going to be real and say I'm not thinking about her in a wifey way. But what I am open to is, we've all, I'm sure most of us have met a woman and said, oh, I thought this was just a hookup. And next thing you know, you dating 6 months to a year or longer, could become your wife. I'm never closed off from that. I'm not going to treat a woman, even if she comes, hey, I'm going to keep it real. We've been in the strip club at bachelor's parties. I'm not going to call no stripper, no hoe, or no bitch throwing it up. We doing that. But I'm not going to be looking, when they come over and talk to me. I had this one young lady when we was living in Atlanta. This is crazy. She will always come to me because she told me she was from Africa. She actually told me, she said, you're so nice to me, because I was sending her a drink. Because my thing was, I looked at it as fun, but I didn't look at her as some chick that I'm just trying to bust down. I was like, I'm here for entertainment. This is a real human being. Whether she's here for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. I'm here for entertainment. But I didn't come over and I'm not trying to get in the champagne room to get a one-off. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that type of situation for me. But if she was fine as hell. She's a stripper. But if there had something had evolved into that, I still would have treated her like I met a woman on Tinder or whatever. Stripper,
I'm triggered. Yeah. All right. Is this the safe place? Are we in a trust circle right now?
We're in a trust place, brother. We're in a safe place. Safe place for me.
I mean, does that make sense what I'm saying? I mean,
yes, sir.
It does. And I like the fact that you said, I mean, like where you led that, Michael, you know, the one night stand, because I was at a place where I was like, if I sleep with you one night, you off limits. I'll never marry you. And so that came from a place inside of me that was looking at women who did that a certain kind of way. And also looking at myself like, okay, if I can't resist it with you, then this thing isn't bigger than just body. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't bigger than just body, then I can't spend the rest of my life with you, because there's
Where did that come from though, Tim? Where did that come from for you though? Were you taught that, or is that what you just initially always felt? Where did that come from for you?
What, that if I slept with you in the first moment?
Yeah.
I later on decided that, because after being through so many women and not one of them ever really being something that we both could agree on.
Yeah.
I said, well, it must be the sex thing. That must be the issue. You know what I'm saying? It must be my mindset on how I'm going into this. So I need to shift the way I'm looking and be like, okay, well, let's move past the body and let's see what her mind is like. That was the process. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't immediate. That was like, nah.
Y'all know what's strange about this entire conversation? It's like we never actually address the fact that women have sexual urges too. So like it takes two to go on a date. It takes two to have sex. So that means there has to be like some level of consent. So like it seems like we're just talking about how most of the objectification is coming from us, but what about women? Like they're at the table. Like I know so many women who will literally go on dates just for free food. Or like I've been they're just like, so what? You wanted me, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, this is stupid. Or like I've been in situations where like a girl will literally sleep with me and be like, okay, we're done. I have to leave now. I'm just like, what? So it happens on both sides. And like by this entire idea that this is considered objectification is completely taking the power away from the woman. The woman knows what she has and she has options. Like you can't just go up to a woman and it's like, oh, let's have sex. But how many times will you say no to a fine girl who's just like, oh, let's go back to the room? It's not going to happen. So a lot of times women are, it seems like they're not honest, like y'all keep saying, they're not honest with themselves. And like that's why we have this idea of objectification of women, because a lot of times these women are putting themselves in that position, like whether they, so that they can have someone to raise their kids, or so they can have a free food, or just because they want stability. They know what they have and they're using it in their advantage. And then we keep falling for it. And like we're blaming ourselves. It's like, are we objectifying women? It's like, no, it takes two to tango.
That's kind of deep, because I think someone said earlier, women know how to get a man's attention.
Yeah, they know what WAP is. Like, it's honey, and we're bees buzzing in their DMs.
So what? Let me ask you, Tim, if you don't mind me asking, like, what was the basis of you wanting to have? And I'm asking for a reason, not trying to put you on blast or nothing. But when you wanted to talk about the objectivity of women, what actually made you want to go into this direction? And it seemed, because I'll be honest, for me, my thought was like the whole thing with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, that's been hiding all this time. And she went on her rant. She went on Saturday Night Live last week and did her thing for Breonna Taylor. I feel like she's taking advantage of that from a business perspective, personal, whatever, whatnot. But at the end of the day, there's this lot of talk going around about how she protected him and all this kind of stuff. But my thing was, if you shoot me in my damn foot, I'm calling the police, or I'm gonna shoot your ass back. So it ain't got, I mean, at the end of the day, she's taking time out to, say, hey, we women need to be protected. I don't believe in a man taking advantage of a woman in any situation, period. However, like the young man just said, I do think there's two sides to every story. So when you came in, that's what was in my mind, listening to a lot of stuff that a lot of either feminist organizations are talking about, where women like her are taking advantage of the media to put out a perspective, whether it's truthful or not. It may be marketing. Where did you want this to go? So therefore, maybe we can give you concise type answers, if that makes sense.
Where did I want to go? So it's really me coming into my understanding of my journey with women, and to really create a platform to hear what other men have gone through. As like Lamar said, you see these things. How has it affected y'all? Y'all, we're trying, I'm 54, 53, we have these different ages. How has this world impacted you in your ability to be monogamous? Flat out. What's the root? I was looking at a YouTube video about sexual addiction. And one of the things this doctor said was there's 3 different types. And one of the types was where you create an image in your head and then you write a story about it. And you objectify, and that image becomes what you're addicted to. So it could be a beautiful woman, 36, 24, whatever you like. And this story or image is where she does everything you ever want and will never say no. That's the image and story that you have in your head. And then, so what happens is, because of that image that's in your head, or that story or that desire, you keep pursuing that over and over again. You keep looking for that story. You keep looking for that situation where you got this fine female and she never tells you no.
Right.
She always treats you with respect. She always, whatever story that you have, there's object and story. And so you're addicted to that. And so you have to rewrite the story behind what you thought was going to make you happy.
How do you think we fixed that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, what would you say, Michael?
Man, I mean, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Tim. I mean, I agree with you because we talk about, Mariella brought it up, a woman can be whatever letter. We talked about our multiple choice earlier. She wants to be, and that's decided.
Yep.
Not only before she shows up to a date, it's also decided every day when she continues to be our partner. But ultimately, it also ebbs and flows throughout the relationship. And so for me, when you talk about object in story, brother, I mean, that's absolutely it. There is always going to be that layer of attraction of how you feel, what you want, what you think, how turned on you are. Are you distracted from something else to the left or the right? And so for me, object and story is spot on. And the reason being is that I think about my world right now. 15 years ago, before I had, 16 years ago, before I had children, my bad, Lindsay, love you, is that, my mentality was different with dating. It was one and done, one dimensional, dad, husband, easy, that's it. And now it's, how are you going to help me build? How are you going to help me continue? What does the legacy really look like here? Because I don't want to spend my time with someone that's not going to take the time to be my partner. No different, conversely, on that side of how they should not spend their time with someone who isn't going to do the same. So I think what we ultimately want, now I would love if we had some women sitting on this table and we might have a little bit of fires and drinks going, but I think women feel the same way that they do. They want to be attracted to us. They want to feel the same things that we do as mammals. I think they have the same objectiveness that we have of, do I like you? Do your tail feathers shake the way I need them to shake? Okay. But ultimately, when it comes back home, can I lick my wounds in front of you and not feel like a punk? That's important. Right. Can I say my back hurts? Can I say that today sucked at work? Can I say that dealing with my blended family as a divorced man was hard to bring home? And then do I even have the safe place to talk about with you as my new chapter and new partner, where it makes sense for me to do so? It allow me to do so, because as a man, that's hard. And so when you talk about objectifying in the story, they are normally not always in line. You might have that trusted confidant where you can open everything up. You can talk about what it's like being a dad. You can talk about divorce. You can talk about court. You can talk about money. But the reality is, it might not always be the same person that's your partner, which is weird. And I think it should be. And I think that we need to have that real conversation, probably for another show, Tim, which is a really awesome show. By the way, congrats on number 10, brother. Way to go. But for me, when it comes to object and story, brother, I can't agree with you more. And I think the reality is how you are innately and naturally just feel as a human being, as a mammal on this planet, how you treat other people. And then there's the reality of, well, how do I get to decide and what I really want and what I want really to make people feel? That's me.
Could I jump in on the back of that one? Because there's a couple things there's a couple things I heard. Tim, you were saying about the objective in the story. I think that's a key point, because you were saying also about how your mentality changed towards women. But I think also as men, it's like we have to change. And I talk about this a lot on my platform, where I'm like, if you're the director of your own life movie, you can change scenes, you can rewrite scenes, you can change the plot, right? You could actually change the story. And like what I said to Michael when we got together, I was like, look, I don't want to do things the same way as before, because obviously there was some things that didn't work, right? So I had to like completely flip the script, no pun intended, but to actually change the direction of this life movie, this new story, to go in the direction that we want to go. So I feel like as men that we have to understand or get to a point where we know what we're looking for and what type of story you're trying to create. Because just like the brother just said, you know, when we're looking at things like legacy, when we're looking at things like, you know, the heirs, like, you know, the next generation, all of these things as men we are looking at for the purpose of building. So we need to have a clear, defined story and storyline to ensure that we're going in the right direction. And I think personally, as I said, you know, the reason why I switched my mindset in terms of women is because I had to learn some things new, because I was like, something is just not right here. You can't have all these relationships and then think, okay, what is it? You have to look inside and say, okay, what am I doing? Fair enough, there'll be some things on one side, but you also have to look internally and say, what am I doing in these relationships? And I'm just trying to remember all the things. There were so many, but well, when you were talking about the objectifying, I was looking at women as an objective. Oh, sorry, as an object, and that was, I think, based on my relationship with music. Growing up, seeing how that happened, you know, seeing rappers doing this, and you're like, okay, that's what I want. And then I started thinking, as I got older, some of the mistakes I probably made was based on the stories that I was buying into. So the stories I was buying into influenced me in a specific way. And then when you start making those correlations, you're like, oh, okay, so I can start to piece together where this story started to crumble,
Right.
or, you know, had a twist, a plot twist where you're like, oh, snap, I'm in the situation again. How did I get here, kind of thing. So,
well,
yeah, these are some of the realizations.
No, I appreciate that, brother. Absolutely. We go through different phases, right? I mean, there's the young boy in the playground, and then there's a man that we ultimately become and we want to be remembered for. And so if I may, I apologize for this, Tim. I see her on here. Love you, Mom. She's watching and she's commenting. I see you, Marsha. I appreciate you, man. Okay. It just got real for me. I ain't gonna blush, but Team Light Skin over here, excuse me.
Okay, TLS.
Yeah, hey.
Gentlemen, I appreciate you all just coming on here and just keeping it real and just being authentic and honest. We're gonna wrap it up. If there's any questions that anyone who is watching right now, drop them in the chat before we go. Any particular person that you want to, you know, ask a question, someone who said something that really made you think, or whatever the case. What is that? Speaker. Whoa.
Where's the Terminator?
Hold on. Okay. Yep, that was it. All right. So yeah, if anyone, like I said, who's watching has a comment, question, please drop that. Someone else says a relationship takes time, trust, respect, openness, vulnerability, and really loving your partner. Awesome. So the conclusion here is I want to get to at the end of the day, what is it that we conclude? Is the way men see women toxic to our community? Is the way we see women toxic to our community? Let's go around and see what the consensus is from this panel. We'll start with Kyle. Yes or no?
Of course, you would come to me first.
Yes or no, Kyle? Don't you skirt, and talk about depend on the scenario. Do not
see
tell
what had happened was
no. You liner dude, you yes or no?
On a large scale, yes.
Thank you. Michael.
Yes.
Levi.
Yes.
Josh.
Yes, it's a cycle.
Lamile.
Yes.
And I as well. The question is, last thing, what can we do as men to change the in the community on how we see women? Someone.
I think you asked, Brother Tim, you got some feedback. If we as men, can we change how the community, as men, can we change how the community sees women? Is that what you asked, brother?
To the degree, just what can we do in terms of how we see women and how toxic it is to our community?
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and wear my political hat here. Oh, we definitely got some feedback.
Everybody mute mic except Mike on that. That's coming from. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so I'm gonna treat this like the conversation where I've had to have more often than not, especially as my closing point, about abortion. And I ain't going real deep on it, but I'm a man. I'm not a doctor. So I'm not here to tell what a woman should or should not do. I'll tell you that. The only woman I have the ability to help influence is my daughter. And so when it comes to what a woman does or does not do, I believe it was one of the other brothers were talking about, you know, a woman is also out here knowing what she's doing, but she's also doing it because she thinks she has that pressure. So I think as men, there's two ways that we can go about it. One, if she's out here to make the money and she's doing Cardi B, like I said, and she's getting that wet ass pussy, right? And she making that wet ass pussy money. She's getting that Oprah money, right? That's cool. She's an entrepreneur and she's a pioneer. But if a woman was doing that at a strip club being a thought, well, we gonna call her a hoe. I don't agree with that. I think that if you're going to support the actions, regardless of the financial outcome, how the hell does it have any damn bit of difference? So for me, I'm going to look at both no different, your bank account and how good you look. But reality is, if a woman wants to do that, that's her. And we are nobody to tell her she can or cannot. And we are nobody to objectify her, no different. Now, if we want to respect her because that's how she makes money, we want to respect her because she wants to feel good that day and her buckets need filled, I'm all for that. But I'm definitely not ever going to sit on this side of the table or this side of the screen or pond, Mr. English brother, I appreciate you, and tell somebody that they can't have their own grind and their own feel. Because as a bariatric patient who used to weigh over 500 pounds, changed my life, work out every day, my cup says just lift it instead of just do it. I mean it. Everybody can change, everybody can be different, everybody can be on that grind. So for me, if I may, Brother Tim, I think if a woman wants to be objectified, she's going to allow it. But as men, we also need to be sensitive because we are brothers, we are sons, we are husbands, we are ex-husbands, right? Fathers. We also need to recognize when a woman doesn't want to be. And it's up to all of us to determine and respect exactly what that woman wants, to give her the ability, right? Everybody's got baggage. Everybody's got baggage, no matter where you are, whether you're 5, 15, or 55, you got baggage. Being safe with someone that allows you to unpack that baggage is what's important. And I think that's what we need to do as men in our community, especially Black men in our community. We need to identify our women, mothers, aunties, cousins, TTs, and everybody else in between and say, you do you, and I'm gonna let you be great, but do it safe, do it right, and you let me do the same. On that, I'm out.
Wow, that was dope. That was dope. Levi.
Boy, I can't follow that. it was everything that I was gonna say. I was like, yep, that's why I leaned forward. I was like,
sorry, bro. Appreciate you though, Levi.
That's team light skin, man.
One. Yeah, no, I think everything he said was pretty much on point. Women know what they want. They know how to do things. And I mean, there's nothing that we can do to control that. All we can do is control our minds and our actions. And, you know, there's a time and a place for certain things. Mariella just said, women like being objectified during sex. And, you know, again, time, place. So in certain situations, you know, you need to know when to turn it off, turn it on. with the question earlier, I wasn't trying to bogart, and everybody was going through their thing. I personally would have picked B, and then maybe it's just because of my my business, or one of my businesses. I'm a consultant, so I consult OnlyFans professionals that can afford me, and I don't when I see them, I don't view people as objectives objects within that nature because of the mind. That's usually what I see. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? You see some cakes or something like that, as a man, whatever, you go look, no matter where you are. If you're smooth, you don't even got to move your head. You know what I'm saying? Just that, the quick eye glance, and then that's it. Keep it respectful. You keep it on pushing. I'm a mind man. So you never know what that person that maybe showing off their body, whether they clapping cheeks or singing WAP or whatever, you never know what they're saying, what their plan is. I know women what was it? Maya Angelou was a stripper, and then became one of the most famous, awesome, prolific women of all time. So it's to me, it's up here. You could be doing something right now that may not be what society deems as respectful, but what's the plan? What's the future? And again, because I'm a consultant, that's kind of like the way I go with the ones that are doing that. They're making the money. Like, okay, what's the next move? Are you going to build that? Are we we got a Roth IRA? What banks are we dealing with? You trying to buy some real estate? How are we working with this? And usually that's usually how it always goes. So when it comes to women, period, when it comes to people, period, we always objectify each other in some ways when it comes to attractions and stuff like that. That's kind of how it always starts off. But most time it's something deeper than that.
Wow, man, that was good. I like that. So with that, as you're consulting with people who are doing OnlyFans, you're seeing their entrepreneur side, especially as you're having these conversations. They, in your mind, they've gone to the next level, especially when you hear their vision, when you can hear where they're really trying to take it. They're like, now they're almost the total package. So
some of my clients, they don't really have a vision all together. So usually, especially because of COVID, because of the pandemic, they lost their job and they got kids and they got to take care of things. And back in the day, if you needed to make some quick money and you couldn't find the right job that was going to give you the money, you get the strip club. Now strip clubs was closed down. Now you got the virtual strip club, OnlyFans. And it's bringing in a whole lot more money, and you don't have to deal with guys touching you, grabbing at you, the sick ones being disrespectful, stalking you like crazy, or anything like that. So it was the perfect move for a lot of women that are able to use your body. And then on top of that, it doesn't matter what size you are, skinny, big, curvy, whatever, it doesn't matter. And so, some people are like, what, I'm just going to do it. Whoever's going to judge me is going to judge me. It just so happened that they made a lot of money from that. So
now, Levi, on that point, brother, I'm telling you onto something there, because what nobody talks about is how women use how we naturally objectify and make their bank accounts bigger. They expect it, they want it, and they know it. You absolutely right, brother.
Entrepreneur, that's all. And so again, because of my business, I witnessed that. I'm like, I know, like, you already made the jump. You already made the entrepreneurial jump. You are an ultimate hustler. To me, women are the ultimate hustlers of all time. Since the beginning of time, the majority of the creations that were made by man was thought by a woman. She pretty much gave it, hey, you might want to think about doing this. You instead of turning left, you might want to turn right. And a man might do that, and then bam. Barack Obama wouldn't have been president without Michelle. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So every woman is behind a great situation. That's a fact. So with that, I've always viewed that as, you guys are the ultimate hustlers. So if you made that view to be like, what, I'm just going to take them for what they got, because I know they out here thirsting, and a lot of them objectify more than some others. And the ones that do, they're going to pay that $5.99. They're going to pay that $50 a month, and then get them. And that's when a guy like me comes in and be like, hey, look, I'm going to help you take this $50,000 a month that you make it. I'm going to help you turn it into 150. I'm going to help you turn it into 250. And we're going to go ahead and get you some land and some property out in Mexico, and you're never going to have to worry about that no matter what.
Hold up, Levi. Hold up. I mean, I ain't pretty and I ain't stripping, but you know, if you're gonna make 200 grand a month, we need to talk after the show. Let's talk.
Look, I mean, this is what I do. Look, I charge,
that part, bro.
I charge a lot. I charge $15,000 a month for my clients that give me a month, and for people that of course can't afford that and they just need me by an hourly basis, I just charge $500 an hour. So that I built that off of the clients, off of the athletes and stuff like that. But right now, with everything going on, the majority of my monthly paying clients are OnlyFans professionals that are like, hey, I either heard word of mouth, or maybe they seen me and got comfortable and like, hey, I just want to reach out and maybe we can book something. And then next thing you know, some of them, they're either still doing it because the money's fast, but a lot of them have switched off to other things because they realize there's other things out there, and they weren't trying to do that as their last gig. It was like, this is what's going on right now. Again, as women, we have the power. We're gonna make this move right now. But I know for a fact that this is not the end game for me, and I got bigger things and better things to do, no matter what any man or woman has to say about what I'm doing right now. So,
man, y'all heard it here. I'm starting my OnlyFans. It's called Daddy's Caddy, and I'm gonna get paid, bro.
Hey.
We got Beyond the Pole. So look, that's a book. That's a story right there. Beyond the Pole. So there you have it. You got Levi, the OnlyFans consultant and entrepreneur. All you ladies out there, give Levi a call. He will tell you how to get your OnlyFans page set up.
Oh no, I'm not teaching people how to do OnlyFans. I teach them how to take that money from OnlyFans to something else. Don't make me that guy. I don't know how to do OnlyFans. I ain't never been there. Y'all do whatever y'all do. That's a different kind of power. I just know how to take that and make it more.
Right. Somebody has mentioned. All right. Feedback. Someone unmuted their mic. Everybody mute your mic because I'm not sure who that is, and I'll pick you to go up next. All right, let's go, Lamal.
Cool.
What can you answer that question? What can we do to help with the toxicity as men?
Yeah, no, definitely, Tim. I think the key thing really, I would say, is that we have to start to realize that the female, the woman, the queen is a key piece on the board. So I like to use the chess analogy, right? So king, most powerful piece on the board, but the queen, if utilized correctly, can help you win the game. So when men are looking at women as, just a piece, but not the piece, the key piece, you're going to have a different perspective on how you can play the game. So if men start to really break down, like, okay, if we're playing this chess game in life, we've got to really respect the queen piece on the board, and you can make moves. So again, I like to use real examples. When I go with my girl, the first thing I said was, look, these are the things that I want to do. Let me know what you want to do, and let's see how we can build together and play this game at the highest level. Because I'm not going to come to you and say, hey, I'm cool to just do whatever. It's like, no, I've already got my goals, and this is what I want. So if we start being honest as men with the queens and just respect them for what they can also bring to the table, you have a lot more of a stronger position in the game of chess. So I feel we just have to obviously pour into the queen, pour into the women, and uplift them more. Simple as that. And instead of looking at them as objects, look at them as a key piece to your game and the whole life game as a whole.
I like that. Appreciate it. That's dope. All right, Kyle, got to go. What you got, Kyle? What can we do as men to help with the toxic view we have of women?
I think, man, it's several things we can do. We look at all perspectives of education, spiritual. I think a lot of us need therapy, an ongoing therapy, whether it's in family, sexual, communication, and all types of things. I think we need to stop looking at quick fixes such as TV and music and getting high, getting tipsy, and quick sex to fix lifelong issues.
Woo.
And so I think if we start looking at it as a whole broad sweeping thing from the time we brought in this world and to the moment we leave here, if we start teaching people how to communicate better, then everybody will stop pointing fingers at the other person. Because when you look at on the spiritual level, the Bible tells us God, if you believe, or whatever your faith is, and all those different types of texts, each one kind of has all the same bottom line thing is your respect for each other and learning each other and putting your God, whatever his name may be, in the midst of all of that. Educational wise, there needs to stop being all of this patriarchal higher, I'm the higher because I'm the man type thing. I think it needs to be more open-mindedness, so therefore everybody feels appreciated and not an object, whether it's for sex, whether it's for attention, whether it's for business. And so if we start being honest with each other and we start leaning on people that may not be your spouse, it may be your therapist. You know, I have a therapist. I talk to them once a month. I'm not ashamed to tell anybody that, because I wish more people, I try to get my family involved and say, hey, we need family therapy, that my blood family, you know what I'm saying? And some of them are open to that, some of them aren't. But I've told close friends and family, like, stop trying to solve everything on your own, because it's not possible. And that's how a lot of toxic environments, period, in business, relationships, love, and sex, I think, and it's just my opinion, could be wrong, have been before, if we had more people and things that are really there for us, like you said, where we can come in and talk to someone. It may not be your spouse may not have the mental and spiritual wherewithal to listen to that stuff and make the change. You may need an outside source, but it needs to be someone that's not impartial, if that makes sense.
Man, that was on point. Spot on, bro. Appreciate you.
For sure.
I know you said you had to go, so I appreciate, man, your words. You know, you my guy. I'm clowning with you, but I love you, bro. Appreciate you.
For sure, man. Just keep in touch with me. Let me know when the next show. I'll be here for you. It's nice to meet all you brothers. I love the conversation, man. I hope that we can all connect and outside of this as well. And y'all be blessed, man.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Who we got? Josh, what can we do about the toxicity? The T word.
For like, we just gotta humble ourselves. Like a lot of the ways, like a lot of the problems in our community are because of our inability to swallow our pride, whether it's submitting to a woman or seeing them as more than objects. It takes a level of humility to be like, okay, this is another person. This isn't just someone who I can get something from. And only then will it start because like right now it's a self-perpetuating cycle where it's just like the things that we're doing to women is in the long run affecting us because they're going to treat us a certain way. Like, wow. For example, I was talking with my one of my friends today, and we were talking about how like she was talking about how like it seems that like Black women take it as like whenever they see like a kind Black boy or whatever, they take it as them being weak or and unable to defend themselves. And like she was saying how like she didn't realize that was such a thing, and it was like we put this pressure on ourselves, and now like Black women expect it from us, and then in actuality, it's just making our lives more difficult because we don't feel comfortable expressing ourselves with every woman we meet or every person we meet. So we just got to humble ourselves, and it takes the individual effort.
Wow, that's good. I like that. Humble ourselves. Let's see. Any questions out there for those who are watching? Got a couple comments from Tay Haynes. The resistance comes from the trauma for men to seek therapy. Man, that's woo-wee. There's a lot with that. Getting therapy is huge. Well, folks, we're gonna wrap it up. We've been on here almost 2 hours talking about this conversation. It's definitely not gonna be the last time. I think this was excellent conversation. Thank you for those who are watching. I definitely got a lot out of it, hearing you fellas talk and drop some some nuggets out to me as we all take our journey. Again, this is the male perspective, creating a safe place for men to be big. Big stands for build, inspire, and grow. And until episode 11, we out of here. Gentlemen, stick around for a little afterthoughts as we bounce. Yee yee.
Hey, hey.